Hey Andy, hey Sonicstate, hey viewers. I'm here at Superbooth 22 showing my instant mastering chain. I stopped calling it mastering chain because I think what is much more precise to say about it is to call it some kind of a saturator, a compressor with a very nice saturation stage, which helps you to louden and thicken the signal, just like in mastering. That's why we call it. But yeah, it's a combination of an EQ, a compressor, and a drive stage, all made to thicken your live signal mostly. But then when we were in the process of prototyping it, we figured, oh wow, it's so good, it really works in the studio as well. It's really a proper, serious, professional tool for thickening signals. And before I talk more, I think it's time to kind of prove it.
Okay, let's listen.
All right, so I got this groove here, which is royalty free, so you won't get a copyright infringement, Sonicstate.
Thanks for that, Stimming.
And let me switch it off now. I have this loudness meter here to kind of prove that I'm not like...
Maybe I should go around and so I can film the loudness meter. We can
okay.
see the number.
Yes. So I have this loudness meter here to prove that I'm not faking anything.
Okay. So that's minus 3.4, is that the figure we're looking at?
Yes, that's a true peak, yes. That's a master out, and now I switch it on. And we still... No, 0.2 dB off, on, off, on. It's not too much of a difference now.
No, but it's very, very noticeable.
It is noticeable, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's quite a thick groove already, isn't it? So we got two modes here, which is a bit unusual for a VCA-based compression, which is feedback and feedforward mode. So let me switch to feedback, and maybe we get a little bit more loudness out of it, because here when the sidechain path is getting triggered, is getting monitored from the output. You can get even louder while the circuit is a bit more round and, let's say, pumpy, or I don't know. Maybe that's a really weird word, I have to admit.
No, that will work.
Okay, let me see. Okay, what do we have at peak? 3.5 off. 3.3 on, off. Yeah. So that was my field test, Sonicstate video stressed proof that this thing can do loudness.
Okay, we believe you. We've heard it.
Okay,
so how does it work? How does it do its mojo?
Well, first of all, the reason why it's special, or why you want to have it, is it's portable. It's tiny. It weighs only 1 kilo. We have a very nice bag, handmade in Hamburg, which I bring with, which you get on top. And it's really made for the traveling musician or the traveling producer who needs analog warmth. The EQ and the compressor aren't something necessarily new or very special. It's a VCA-based compressor from that VCAs. It's a design SSL used or other companies. The EQ is a design which Trident used, or I'm not sure who's. It's not really copying. It's more like it's open circuitry, and it's based upon a
open circuit.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. But the magic, which kind of allows us to reach that loudness, what normal compressors on its own don't always necessarily deliver, is the drive stage. And the drive stage is a unique design we developed, which is based on Lundahl audio transformer drive. And what we do is we kind of heighten the dBs before the transformer quite a lot of dB. It's like we literally scream at the transformers, and then afterwards we just lower the output again to really be in the hottest part of audio transformers.
So what do the transformers do when you scream at them that's so special?
So they at first they produce harmonics / saturation, and they also like physically have some analog limiting behavior. Like they physically cannot let more electricity through that they physically can. So it's a real limiter.
Sure. And the way they close it down is very sonically pleasing.
Yes, it's very sonically pleasing, and of course there is like a limit when they start to puke. So it is not to be honest, it's not the easiest gear it's not a fire and forget weapon.
It sounds like a tightrope walking exercise in the design phase.
Let's see, it's I would say dancing on a razor's edge at some point, yeah? So it's really like you need to control your level before you go in. Well, you need to know what you're doing.
And then concrete shoes, yeah.
How do you say?
Have concrete shoes.
Concrete shoes. Yeah, it's a dance of concrete shoes where you need to know what you're doing, but then it really delivers that amount of loudness, which on stage makes the difference between, oh, that's a weak signal, and oh, wow, that has a lot of punch. And in the studio, if you use it as more like a bus compressor, it has this bringing everything to the front, gluing everything together while keeping the signal in control, the level in control. So before your converters, it's totally this max level says minus 3.2, and whatever I do, it is gonna be minus 3.2. It's gonna distort, yes, but it stays there. So the most important thing is it's small. What you can achieve here is something that you can achieve in 19-inch gear. You can, or like a lunchbox, but a lunchbox in the 500 series, it's the same price pretty much. If you have the certain modules after each other, but it's still like 3 or 4 times the weight, and also the footprint is big. It's not as big as 19-inch, but it's bigger.
So what is the power requirement of this? Has it got a separate power supply, or is the power supply?
Yes, it has a separate power supply. It has a couple of features that are, let's say, unusual. It has a headphone out, so when you're on stage as a live set, which it was originally designed for, I have the headphone out to listen via in-ears, my main out to be sure nothing's going wrong, everything's sounding nice, and it's my monitor basically. But in the studio, we allow you to have the sidechain possibility to throw a different signal on it and use the sidechain, what you use the sidechain for, or use an external filter for the compressor. The EQ height is much more than what you would usually have in some kind of mastering device, because it's 14.
Just for live.
It's 14 dB, which is way too much for stage or any normal use. But as a producer on a weak sample, 14 dB could be nice. Also, the bass is totally way too much. But I thought, yeah, let's leave a little bit of.
Go to 11.
Yeah.
So I noticed on the drive control it goes up from off to nuts.
Yeah, because nuts is most of the time it's just broken, and you don't. I mean, you can maybe it's inventing a new genre, the nuts compression genre, but I don't know. I'm like seriously, audio transformers sound very very nice, and when they don't sound nice, it's not nice anymore. It's a little bit like a converter. You can. You can clip a converter nowadays to some extent, but it's like it's only a short range. The range here is a lot wider, no worries. And that's also why we designed the compressor the way it is, because the attack is quite fast. So in practically what happens is the compressor protects and limits the signal before we kind of heaten it up on the drive stage. But it works. Once you get used to it, it's in the studio it's my go-to weapon for drums, and on stage I cannot live without it.
So it was designed as a live box. was it only after you built the prototype you thought, actually, this is so good I can use it in the studio too? And then did you change the design to encompass the studio usage after that?
To be honest, we didn't have the studio. Well, now, that's important. We have a balanced in and output. Last time, for the first units we sold, we had an unbalanced in and out. Now we have a balance. It's a tiny bit more expensive. So without taxes, we're at 2,500. But now with balanced, we're talking studio level plus 4 dB, which in a studio environment feels much more natural. Yeah. Beforehand, it was we found something in between because I usually played into a mixer, and a DJ mixer expects like a consumer level, and even there was a bit too loud, but it was tweakable. By the way, the output is a Baxandal circuitry, so it's totally okay if you lower it like this, and there won't be any degradation in the sound quality. Yeah.
So I understand there's quite a lot of cunning manufacturing technology going on here. It's made from carbon fiber, which is what, CNC?
Yeah, it's CNC made by hand. It's the color. It's like in the medieval age, coloring in the how do you say the grids which had been cut by the CNC. Yeah, it's handmade in Mittelfranken in Germany, in the southern part of Germany. Of course, the PCBs aren't, but anything else is handmade. The housing is handmade, and I think it's like 6-7 hours of handwork in any machine. Every device which goes out, I listen to intensively. So when you buy one of those, you can be sure that I would use it by myself because I check it just the way. For example, I let audio play through it for 12 hours during the night, and the next morning I know it's going to be okay, of course, what should happen. But I just want to be sure that if I send it to Japan, it's going to be safe and sound, and the one who's getting it can use it for a very, very long time.
And I understand we have the actual manufacturer.
Yeah, so
just standing there.
That's meet Michael, who is the one who does the actual device. I just have the ideas, the actual work. I just have the ideas and the criticism.
So you take all the glory, and
I'm afraid, yes.
I take the glory. So
nice.
Yeah. So it's a two-man show basically. He used to do. He used to do electronics for audio for all his life, but more as a hobby. So when I first met him in his basement, he has a studio full with clones of 1176s, LA2A, SSL. He cloned all of them.
I know them well. Yeah.
For his own use because he wasn't able to afford them. He even made 2 modular systems, complete modular system, just.
Wow.
Well, as a hobby, somewhat.
64 VCOs.
64 VCO modular system. Yeah, before anyone was talking about modular system.
Okay.
To play a Bach piece, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This one.
To play the fugue from Bach.
Yeah. And you played it just once, and that was how you used it, and now it's.
Because it took 4 hours to tune the
oscillators.
Yeah. So doesn't have the time anymore since I know him.
So. I met the right guy for the right task because I believe, so from how I understand, the way we scream at the transformers is something where you need like an innovative approach to. It's not something that you learn in school and the teacher will say, oh yeah. Probably the Lundahl themselves would say, are you serious? Do you really scream that loud to the transformers?
So basically, you're breaking the rules.
Yes,
yeah, and
I don't follow any specifications.
And I got the ears to say, yeah, that's a good idea. In the beginning, we were totally distorted.
Yes.
I needed to come to your place, so we found the right balance. Yes. But when we found it, I was like,
40 dB more. Than,
we're not talking about numbers.
40
dB more.
40 dB more. dBs more.
What we actually have.
The specification sheet says.
Okay.
So this was something.
Yeah.
I had to try.
We're not talking about numbers.
No.
Numbers is fine. We can talk about numbers if you want.
Yeah. And we're working on it since 6 years now.
6 years.
6 years, yeah. 12 prototypes. And this is like the 5th generation IMC. That's why it's called IMC5. And now with the balanced output. Yeah.
So these are available now?
Yeah.
But
You can buy them on
presumably
instantmasteringchain.com.
in limited quantities because they're very
No, we
handmade.
can do high quantities also.
The question is, you need to pay upfront, and it takes a bit of time. So because it's handmade, it just takes a bit of time. Shipping is on me. Without that, price is roughly 2,500, maybe a tiny bit more, but not really. Shipping is on me. I send worldwide, and I know about export. I know about taxes, customs, atlas systems.
It's not an easy thing.
No. I just needed to do the math on this. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Thanks very much for showing us.
Oh, you're welcome.
And what's the website where people should go to find out more?
The website is instantmasteringchain.com. That's the short. IMC means Instant Mastering Chain.
Thanks very much indeed.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for watching.